The naysayers, because there's always people out there that will tell you that you will not be able to do that, forget it, it's a stupid dream that you have, or a crazy vision, and those. Don't listen to the naysayers.
What does it do?
Well, I think that the number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go, because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane or the best ship in the world, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, he will just drift around. If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane. So I think the key thing is that we know where we're going, and that you're very passionate about that you see it always in front of you, the goal. And the other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. We don't achieve big things by accident. So shoot for the top, shoot for the sky, shoot for the, for the stars. The other thing is that you got to work your butt off. If you think that you're going to go and accomplish something really special and be the best in anything in the world, and you think you can do it without working, you make a big mistake. Because no matter what I did, if it was in bodybuilding or in acting, or if it is in the political arena, it always took a lot of work. And you got to put out, and you got to, sometimes make a lot of sacrifices. Notice, if you're not willing to work hard, forget about it. So there's another rule that is very important. I think another one is just don't be afraid to fail. Because if you're afraid to fail, then you're always holding yourself back, because you're afraid that if you go all out, you may fail. Well, in weightlifting, we learned that very quickly. The only way you could break a record is if you're willing to fail. That's when you put on more weight, you try it, sometimes you will not be able to lift it, which has happened to me many times, but eventually, when you train hard enough, you will lift it. So don't be afraid to fail. I mean, how far can you?
What if I told you that the man who became the greatest bodybuilder in history, a Hollywood legend, and the governor of California was once a skinny kid from a small village in Austria with no money, no connections, and no advantages? Arnold Schwarzenegger had nothing but one thing that changed everything. He had a vision so big that people laughed at him. And he had the persistence to keep going when everyone said it was impossible. Today we are going to talk about what Arnold Schwarzenegger teaches us about big vision and persistence. And trust me, by the end of this video, you will see your own life and your own dreams in a completely different way. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not just a bodybuilder or an actor. He is a living example of what happens when someone refuses to give up on their dream. When Arnold was young, he did not have the life he wanted. He grew up in a poor family. His father was strict. The village was small. There was no opportunity. But Arnold did something different. He created a picture in his mind. He saw himself winning bodybuilding titles. He saw himself moving to America. He saw himself becoming a movie star. And he held on to that vision with everything he had. He did not just dream. He believed. And that belief became the fuel for his persistence. Arnold says that if you do not have a vision of where you want to go, you will never get there. This is the foundation of everything he achieved. First comes the vision. Then comes the work. And in between, there is persistence. The thing that keeps you going when everything falls apart. Now let me ask you something. How many times have you had a dream and then gave up because it felt too hard? How many times did you start something and stop because you did not see results fast enough? This is where most people fail. Not because they are not talented. Not because they are not smart. But because they do not have the persistence to keep going. Arnold faced the same struggles. When he first came to America, his English was weak. People made fun of his accent. They said his body was too big for movies. They said his name was too hard to pronounce. But Arnold did not listen. He kept going. He kept training. He kept learning. He kept showing up. That is the difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck. Successful people do not quit when things get hard. They push through. Let me connect this to your daily life. Imagine you want to start a business. You have an idea. You are excited. But then you face your first failure. Maybe no one buys your product. Maybe someone criticizes you. Maybe your family does not support you. This is the moment where most people stop. But this is also the moment where persistence matters the most. Arnold says that strength does not come from winning. Strength comes from struggling and deciding not to give up. Every time you face a challenge and keep going, you become stronger. Every time you fail and try again, you grow. This is how success is built. Not in one big moment, but in hundreds of small moments where you chose to keep going. Think about your fitness goals. Maybe you want to lose weight or build muscle. You start working out. You eat healthy for a few days. But then life gets busy. You miss a workout. You eat something unhealthy. And suddenly you feel like giving up. But here is the truth. One bad day does not ruin your progress. Quitting does. Arnold trained for years before he won his first title. He did not see results overnight. He showed up day after day, month after month, year after year. That is persistence. It is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is about showing up even when you do not feel like it. It is about trusting the process even when you cannot see the results yet. Now let us talk about vision again. Arnold always says that you need to see it in your mind before you can hold it in your hands. This is so powerful. Your vision is your direction. Without it, you are just walking in circles. But with a clear vision, every step you take has purpose. Every struggle has meaning. Every failure becomes a lesson. Think about your own life. Do you have a clear vision of where you want to be in 5 years? Do you have a picture in your mind of the life you want to create? If not, this is the first step. Take some time to really think about what you want. Not what your parents want. Not what society expects. But what you truly desire deep in your heart. Once you have that vision, write it down. Look at it every day. Let it guide your decisions. Let it remind you why you are working so hard. Arnold also teaches us that we must ignore the naysayers. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be people who tell you that your dream is too big or too unrealistic. But those people are not living your life. They do not know what you are capable of. Arnold was told he would never make it in Hollywood. He was told his accent would hold him back. He was told he should give up acting and stick to bodybuilding. But he ignored all of that. He kept his eyes on his vision. He kept putting in the work. And he proved everyone wrong. You have the same power. You can choose to listen to the doubters, or you can choose to believe in yourself. The choice is yours. Let me give you another real-life example. Imagine you are a student preparing for a big exam. You study hard but you fail the first time. Now you have two choices. You can tell yourself that you are not smart enough and give up. Or you can look at what went wrong, learn from it, and try again. The second choice is persistence. It is not about never failing. It is about never staying down. Arnold failed many times in his life. He lost competitions. He had movies that flopped. He made mistakes in his political career. But every time he fell, he got back up. That is the mindset you need. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the journey to success. So here is what I want you to take away from this video. First, create a big vision for your life. Do not be afraid to dream big. The bigger the vision, the more motivated you will be to chase it. Second, develop persistence. Understand that the road to success is long and hard. There will be obstacles. There will be failures. But you must keep going. Every small step counts. Third, ignore the people who doubt you. Their opinions do not define your potential. Only your actions do. Fourth, embrace failure as a teacher. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable. Use that knowledge to get better. Fifth, show up every single day. Success is not about one big moment. It is about daily consistency. It is about doing the small things over and over again until they add up to something great. Arnold Schwarzenegger started with nothing. But he had a vision and he had persistence. And those two things took him further than anyone could have imagined. You have the same potential inside you. You have the ability to create the life you want. But it starts with a decision. A decision to dream big. A decision to never give up. A decision to keep going no matter what. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what is your vision? And are you willing to be persistent enough to make it real? The answer to that question will determine your future. Believe in yourself. Trust the process. And never stop moving forward. Your dream is waiting for you. Now go out there and make it happen.